everybody, and welcome to Paper Crafting with Tammy. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. It is awesome to see you here. I have a great project for us today that we're going to start on in just a minute. If you haven't done it yet, take a minute and hit that big red subscribe button so you see what else I've got for you next time, and let's get started. Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about some of the card making products that KB Lane offers, just in honor of World Card Making Day. So if you are watching this video on October 3rd or October 4th, so that Saturday, Sunday, you're hitting World Card Making Day kind of that weekend. Everybody who leaves a comment on the video on either Saturday or Sunday will be entered into a drawing for a card making kit and a sampler pack of templates. So leave those comments for me. If you're watching it after that, of course that would be null and void, but you still have some great information here and a lot of these products will still be available. Alrighty, so KB Lane offers some really cool quick card paper kits that make several cards, and they do it really easily. So this is our happy birthday kit. As it stands, it makes 10 cards, and it does show some of the templates that it features here on the package. Okay. We have a From the Heart kit. This is all pinks and blues and greens. Really beautiful set. Also to make at least 10 cards. This one's called Everyday Occasions. It also makes at least 10 cards. This is our Oh Happy Day set, and I'm actually going to work with this one today, and it'll give you a better look at what exactly is in these kits. So this will be our focus for today's video. We have this Just Because card variety pack. This one creates 10 cards. It comes with envelopes. It has little templates for some of the designing, stickers, and printed cardstock. So super cute. This is the cards that it makes right here. It makes 2 of each of those designs. And then we also have a card making book. Now when if you purchase the card making idea book, it's not bound like this. I always take mine to like Staples or Office Max or Office Depot and have them bind them for me because I really like my idea books to lay flat. Okay, but great little book. It's got over 350 handmade card ideas and then some other paper crafting ideas in it. Okay. And then this is our card making sampler set. So the card kits always come with these, I call them recipe cards, that show you ideas of how to put together the cards. But if you don't have a lot of the template sets, you don't really need to worry about that recipe card. You can do it however you want. So today I want to show you how to use this sampler set to approximate the designs that you're going to see on the recipe card, but to just do it your own way using this one $10 set of templates. Okay, so card making does not have to be an expensive hobby. I know that there are a lot of amazing products out there on the market and you can go crazy, but I'm going to show you a really reasonable, easy way to do it. Okay, so this sampler features Sincerely 1A and 1B, so it's a matching tiny border set. It also has Sentiments 2A and 2B, again, a matching tiny border set. Comes with a 2-inch tiny strip. This is from our Adorn set, so that's Adorn 1A. It's got a hexagon from Tiny Shapes, a star from Tiny Accents. This looks like a cloud from our Tiny Celebrate, but when you partner it up with this hexagon, you can make a really darling little cupcake. You've got a balloon from Tiny Celebrate, a tag from Tiny Tags. This is from Tiny Explore, a flower from Tiny Accents, a flower from Tiny Floral, and then our smallest one of the rings. So that makes a great circle. So lots of little pieces, and we call it a sampler set because that's really what it is. It's just got little pieces of several different sets. So let's tear into this. I'm just going to go into the very first set here. So remember, this is from the Oh Happy Day. I'm just tearing this. And there are 5 of these plastic compartments, okay, in this card kit. We are going to be tearing into one of them. And what I want to show you in this video today is how you can use one of these little sets that's really designed to make 2 cards. I'm going to show you how you can make 4 cards out of it really easily, okay? So the first thing that you see is the recipe card that's got 1, 2, 3 ideas, okay? So that's wonderful. Right off the bat, you've got a few ideas. It's got what are intended to be 2 card bases, okay? So these are a perfect A2 size if you just fold them and create cards. So if really what you want to make is 2 cards, use these. Just use them as a base and go for it. I like to get 4 cards out of this, and so what I tend to do is take these card bases and cut them apart, and then I just use a plain white card base. So I will create what I call a card front. So I'm just going to create a little panel that is sized to go right on a white card base with a little bit of edge around it, okay? So this is a traditional A2 size card base, 5.5 by 4.25. So I want to trim these 1/4 inch shy of that. So I'm going to make them 4 by 5.25. Now I can't go that far on this trimmer, so I'm just trimming off what I estimate to be about 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm going to do that to both of these panels, and that's going to create 4 card fronts for me, which will work out really well. Okay. It also gives me some more color choices, so I love that. Stretches my paper a little bit more and allows me to just really make the most out of the supplies that I have. I enjoy making cards, but it's definitely not something that I want to be a big money draw. So, all right. So I'm going to just set these scraps aside. I might need a little colored strip for something later. But now I've got these 4 card fronts. And depending on what colors I want to use, I think what I'm going to do for now is just go ahead and flip them so that I can see all 4 choices. And maybe I'll just design 4 totally different ones. Okay. Now the next thing that's in this kit are some double-sided sheets, some that have sentiments on them. Okay. Because this is meant to make 2 cards with this little sleeve that we pulled off, there are only 2 sentiments in here. So if you want sentiments in all of your cards or for all of your cards, I would recommend using either some sticker sentiments. I have a lot of rubber stamps, so that's a really natural way for me to pull in something else. So I will probably just stamp a sentiment inside or on a little piece that I make for the front. Okay. There's also this bit of colored paper that's on that recipe card. So that's another way to go after that, okay? So we're gonna make all 4 of these cards, and we're gonna do it quickly and easily. So I absolutely love this kind of star print, and I really like this balloon one. The way that I'm gonna use them both is I'm just gonna pick a border that I think will be fun to play with, and I'm going to position that on my paper, okay, and I'm going to trace this. This one I don't even need the whole thing. It's just going to be a little smaller piece. I'm just going to make a little notch here to let me know where to do that on my, cut that on my trimmer. Straight cut there. And I'm just going to do a straight cut here because I still have this piece to play with, right? On my dotted line, I'm going to do a scissor cut. You notice I'm not actually even looking at the recipe cards. You absolutely can. It just kind of gives you an idea and something to go off of. And if you love them, go for it. But if you don't have a lot of templates yet, then you might end up feeling a little bit frustrated that you can't make exactly what you wanted to. So I do really love this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and use just a big piece of this for this. Now it's a little wide, right? Because we cut this down to be a kind of a nesting card front. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'll cut all those extra pieces honestly at the end. This other side is really beautiful too. I'm just going to flip this over. So this was the other half of this, but by flipping it over, I can use it somewhere else and it looks totally different. Okay. This paper that was that little scrap looks great with this, and I can just put a little strip. So as I'm going, I mean, I can move things around as I change my mind, but what a fun way to just start creating. Okay, quick and easy and stress-free. I want to use this just a note to lift your spirits. So I'm going to look for a border that'll fit well on there. That way I can just use that whole piece and create a border at the same time. Okay. In doing that, I'm going to also be creating a fun little playful piece here that I can use as well. So I'm just going to do a tick mark here for my straight cut and do my pencil trace. I think the thing that people forget when they're making cards is that people enjoy a handmade card, but it does not have to be super complicated. People just love that you took the time to put something special together for them. And that ends up being just an amazing gift all by itself. So, okay. So I've got this. It could go on the dark blue. This arrow in here really matches that well, or it could go on this gray. I think I like it better on the blue. The opposite side of that paper is this really beautiful kind of salmon color. So it could go, it actually looks really great on that gray, or I could use it up here on this green one. So for now, I'll put it down here, but no promises, it could get moved. Okay. I have a little bit more of this too, right? Because I had this little strip. So it's not quite big enough to make an embellishment out of, but it is big enough to be like a colorful strip on these cards. So I'm just going to actually cut this into 2 pieces. And I will tell you, I did not sit down and figure these out ahead of time. When I'm making kiwi cards, I really don't do a lot of pre-planning. I just start cutting and letting my eye have some fun with the colors and just go for it. I think that's why it's so relaxing for me, because I can just play. And that's the whole idea, is that idea of playing to create. So this one says, hope your day is on cloud 9. Happy birthday. So this could be a number of different things. As I'm looking at the colors on here, this would be really beautiful on this card here. So I want to think ahead about what I could put that on that card. It might end up being something like this strip that's going to be too busy, I think. Could also be something like this. Let me see if that's going to fit. So if I do it on there, I've already got this piece. And then I could maybe still use that strip or make it a little thinner. I think I'm going to go for that. And I'm just going to position it so that I don't maybe make it quite as wide or as tall. But I love the curve on there. So we'll go ahead and go with that. I'm going to scoot the base up just a little bit. Give myself a little notch for my straight trim. Because I'm sure I can find something else to do with that piece. It's a cool green. Might look nice on one of these. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece apart as well. I always try to stay a little bit back on my scissors. And when you're getting to curves and things, remember moving your paper sometimes is more helpful than trying to move your scissors. Okay, so that, oh yeah, that fits really well. So I can even bounce that up a bit and then put this strip right there. And those colors are fun. It's got some good flow. Love it. All right, now the back side of that was this green. I think I'm gonna use that one on here. That green and the coral and the gray look really nice. So at this point, I've got, ooh, I forgot about this one. I've got this really cool turquoise, so I definitely want to bring in some of that. I've got this really cool chevron with all of the colors represented. And then I've got some more of this kind of salmon color. So for just a quick splash, I want a little strip of this on here. I just love that color together. And then I want to make some embellishments to go on these cards just to make them a little bit, I don't know, fancy them up a little bit. So this one says, just a note to lift your spirits. And we do have a really fun hot air balloon template that would be darling on here. But I did say that I was going to stick with the things in this kit, in this sampler set. So I'm going to hold true to what I said, even though I'm really being called to that hot air balloon, I'm not going to lie. But I want to see what else I have that would work on here. So on any of these, right, these flowers would be fantastic. So it would fit really well on here or on here. This is a little bigger flower, also fun. This Explore can be a really cool embellishment. Any of these tags. The birthday balloon, or just balloon, I guess, could go on any of these cards. And then we've got the star and the hexagon. So it's really just thinking about what would work well. You can also just do some layering, right? So I think on this one, I want to do maybe just this flower. I just like the way that sizing kind of worked out on there. And I think it would look really fun in this kind of chevron print. So I'm going to do a quick trace of this flower from Tiny Accents. And I just kind of went in the corner of this piece because I want to make sure that I have enough of this left for any other accents that I decide to create. Okay, so I'm going to cut around these real quick. I try to stay on the lines, of course, but you're also, I tend to go back and ink everything with just a nice brown distress ink, and that cleans things up really well. So hides any of those pencil marks, the white core from the paper, and just makes things tie together. Alrighty. So the other thing that I think that this card here is going to need is just a little punch. And really the colors that I have left have all been utilized on the card already, but I'm just going to do a little circle punch to go in the middle of that one. Okay, so that card's going to come together really, really fast and easy. Okay, this one needs a little something, a little pop of color. That turquoise is really pretty on there. I think I'm going to go with that. So again, I try to get kind of on the edge and just really utilize the paper the best that I can. But you can see I had plenty of paper here to do 4 of these card fronts. And then anything else that you decide to add inside or you know, on the front, you probably have some other card scraps or other just paper scraps that you could utilize as well. But there really is plenty provided. So with this particular shape, I just like to go around the sharp edges first and then use my scissors to just cut the V's of this design. It's hard to turn your scissors inside when it's that sharp of a cut, so I tend to cut in to those. If you're really creative, you could probably save these little triangles and use them for something too. I don't necessarily do that. Alrighty, so that can go there. Sorry, I'm spinning it all over the place. And it needs a center too, I think, just for another little pop. I think for that one, I'm going to use this chevron. Cute. This card I feel like is actually pretty good the way it is. I'm going to leave it. This one needs something else. So I kind of held to the end on that one, and I love that turquoise on there, but I don't have a lot of it left. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to look through my scraps real quick, see if I have anything else represented here that would work. Oh, the green would probably be good. But maybe not quite what I had in mind. So I'm going to show you a paper piecing technique that can work really well if you're going to be putting it behind something else, and I'll show you what I mean. So I want to add a little bit of movement down here. I think I'm just going to grab one of these borders. Yeah, that's the one that I want. So I don't have room on here to do the whole thing, right? That's obvious. But I can turn it this way. I can trace part of it. And this time I'm going to go ahead and trace the other line because I need to have a clear picture of the measurement. And then I'm going to scoot it down. And that's still a little bit tight, but I think it'll be okay. Scoot it down here, do my straight cut, and then I'm just going to scooch this up a tiny bit so I can keep it on the paper. Okay, so I'm just modifying this design just a little, and I'll show you how that works, why it works here in a second. So I'm just cutting this apart, getting my two pieces, and I have used the heck out of this paper. I definitely don't have much left, but this is gonna just create such a pretty, look at how pretty that color is. Here's the other side of it. Okay, so yes, it's pieced. I don't need all of that because my plan is to then create something that goes over that little section right there. So I can easily like pop a little balloon right there or something else that just matches well. So actually I think that balloon is really cute. The paper that I have left is this one, the chevron. And I have just enough over on this little side to do it here. Okay. Curve that around. These little balloons are fun. And for those of you that are afraid of fussy cutting, like you're like, that is not my thing, you can see how fast this goes. I don't really want to sit and cut things out all day either, but you know, you can definitely do a little bit without it being a real big deal. So I would use something like that balloon. I think that's super cute. Maybe tie a little string at the bottom and run that off. Okay. But this gives you just a general idea of how these 4 cards could come together. So I'm just going to ink one of them and show you how I would finish this off so you can see that. I don't need to go through this whole process with you guys, I'm sure. So I am just going to apply ink to the top of this right now. On this piece, I'm going to do the top and the bottom because it's going to be on the way it's getting layered. This piece is going on the top. Okay. And then on this piece, I'm just going to apply ink along the bottom edge. Anything that's going to be covered up or that may get cut off, I'm not going to bother to ink right now. That's just double work. Okay. If you know me, you know I am a person who saves their labor. All right. So I can apply this. I really love this shape on this side, so I'm going to keep that in my design. I can get my happy birthday on there. And I'm going to spread these out a little bit because I really, I have that strip I'm going to use anyway. So same thing here. I love that curve, so I didn't want to take that off. Okay, going to get my strip on there to just kind of seal those between those 2 different patterns. That's just going to kind of finish that off. And I can use my trimmer to get rid of the excess. The way I'm not trimming every little piece as I go, right? Get a nice clean edge by doing it at the end. Whoop. Taking my cards apart. And then I'm going to ink all the way around this. So then I'm doing it all at once. It's going to be nice, complete, finished look. Be nice and clean. And then I can mount that on one of these card bases. It'll have that kind of crisp white edge around it, which I like. Just a really clean look. And then maybe you want to ink around that card base, maybe you don't. That's personal preference. I usually do. So this particular card is pretty simple, but you do your handwritten message inside and somebody knows that you've taken the time to make that for them and they are going to love it. If you want to dress it up a tiny bit more, super easy to grab like some jewel dots, something like that. And add just a little bit more embellishment. So I'm trying to peek through here real fast. I don't want to hold everybody up very long. Ooh, those orange ones are kind of fun. So just a quick few little jewel dots added in here. Dress it up just a little and you're ready to go. So I would finish these the same way, just getting everything inked and put together and mounted on that card front. So really easily I can take a kit that's meant to make 10 cards, and they're beautiful just the way they are, I promise. But instead of doing it that way, I can turn it into 20 cards, mount it on the white card bases and make it go even further. And literally all I've had to worry about is that the card kit, some plain white cardstock, and then this sampler set. That's all I've used. So I hope this gave you some ideas. If you are watching this during World Card Making Day, that October 3rd, October 4th weekend, 2020, head to my website, check it out. All of the card making stuff is on sale, and great time to check it out. But I appreciate the time that you spent with me today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.